Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from Red Essence and welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it and I hope that this video finds you well. In today's episode, it is my pleasure and honor to be reviewing the brand new fragrance by the company Parfum de Marly. This one marketed for women, of course, is called Delina La Rosée. So make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin my fragrance review of the brand new Parfum de Marly fragrance, Delina La Rosée, please be sure to enable notifications by clicking on the bell and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. This way, whenever I do put out these videos, they will get delivered straight to your feed. And that's, of course, if you're a fan of fragrance-related content like fragrance reviews, top 10 videos, giveaways, unboxings, and more. So we know that Delina is probably one of the most successful fragrances by the company Parfum de Marly. Of course, I also like Cassily, Athalia, Sedbury, and many fragrances on the women's side. But of course, there's something special about Delina. And we also saw Delina Exclusive, which also took it in a darker direction. It's a little bit sweeter with that vanilla absolute in the base. It's so gorgeous. And this one is the most recent interpretation, and I think this is going to close the Delina chapter. So we have the original, we have the darker, sweet, sultry Exclusive version, and now we have this light, ethereal, and dewy version, which is also a little bit fresher in the opening. And I think this is probably the most masculine one of them all. If for some reason you are a man who enjoys the smell of Delina, I'm going to be telling you a little bit about that, of course. But it's a beautiful fragrance that has the Turkish rose, the peony, the lychee, an added note of pear in the opening, which is really interesting. And then you also have vetiver, musk, and some woods in the base. And the perfumer for this fragrance is Quentin Biche, and he has also done the original as well as the Exclusive version. So I'm really excited to give you my thoughts on this fragrance and to tell you what I get from the smell and just how much I have been really enjoying it. But let's go ahead and start things off with the presentation. So here is the box presentation for Delina La Rosée. As you can see, it opens up just like this to reveal the podium in which the bottle rests. Very luxurious presentation, what you've come to expect from Parfum de Marly. And then on the back of the box here, you have some description on the brand and the concentration, which is eau de parfum. The Parfum de Marly logo can also be located on the top of the box here. And the bottle for this fragrance is beautiful. Of course, you have the pink tassel, which is found on all of the Delinas, but this one is transparent in color. So you can actually see how much liquid you have remaining. And of course, everything about it looks quite similar with the frame here on the front. Really gorgeous, that feminine silhouette. On the bottom here, you have the batch code printed on the bottom of the bottle on top of a sticker in black ink. And the cap for this fragrance does click into place very securely, so you can pick it up from the cap. And then, of course, there's also a pink Swarovski crystal on the top of the cap. The distribution on the atomizer is very wide. Let's continue with the smell. So in the opening of this fragrance, you are going to get something very bright and lively, vivacious, citrusy, and a little tart at the same time. And it's that tartness that I always look for, and that's probably my favorite aspect of the opening. And then I thought about it until eventually I saw the note breakdown, and as it turns out, there's pear in here. And so pear has this very bright, slightly fruity, of course it is a fruit note by default and by definition, but I feel like it really adds to the freshness of the fragrance. So you have the citrus, you have the pear, it opens up very aromatic, but then there's also something working its way into the heart that kind of gives it a dewy feel. So it's ozonic, it's dewy, and that's kind of where the name comes from, La Rosée. You wake up in the morning and then there's the moisture on the plants and the leaves of the plants, and it kind of has this dewy feel. And I see this as this very active version of Delina, this very sort of moving around, I don't want to use the word rambunctious, but it's this more active and more light and playful version of Delina. Now, when I say light, it's only in terms of the DNA, not in terms of the performance, because you're still going to get that vanilla in the base, you're still going to get the woods and the vetiver to sort of close out this composition. And so it has this freshness about it, and it's a freshness that if you're a man, if you like the smell of rose, if you like the smell of fruity ingredients, I think you're really going to enjoy this one. It's not as heavy-handed and as floral as the original Delina, which I'm sure you know has a combination of peony and rose. So I feel like this one has sort of muted the floral accents to sort of amplify the freshness and that dewy accord, if you will. So I love this one. I think this one is amazing. Of course, my sister-in-law owns it, and so she's been wearing it a lot, and I'm gonna try to get my wife to wear this one a lot more as well. And so this one is a great interpretation of Delina. If you found the original to be a little bit too heavy-handed on the florals, and you found the exclusive version to be a little bit too heavy-handed on the sweetness, although I personally love the exclusive version, I think this one will really cater to your personal taste, because I do find it to be a brighter, fresher, more tart, electrifying opening with the citrus and those slightly floral accents that don't start to become noticeable until you eventually, you know, get into the heart and the base of the composition. But very well done fragrance by Quentin Biche and of course Parfum de Marly with a fragrance like Delina. So good. And you have that Delina DNA in there, so don't get it confused. I think if you're a fan of the original Delina, there's a strong chance, like a 99% chance, you're also gonna love this one. So definitely go out there, give it a shot if you can. It's already available at stores, and so I really hope you have a chance to try this one soon, and I really hope it's to your liking. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, this is a unique fragrance despite the fact that it is a flanker of Delina. Now, with Delina being such a trademark scent and such an recognizable scent, I'm surprised that they managed to take that DNA but tinker around with it enough that it did produce a completely different fragrance, and one that I think is absolutely amazing. And so I'm personally a fan of this fragrance. I hope you have a chance to try it as well, because I'm really enjoying the smell. The overall smell, incredibly pleasant. I personally love to wear this one. I love smelling it on myself, but I also like smelling it on people around me, my wife, my sister-in-law, so on and so forth. In terms of the longevity for this fragrance, I got about 8 hours on my skin, so the longevity is not compromised. The projection for this fragrance is about 2 hours within an arm's length. I don't think it ever radiated beyond an arm's length, to be honest with you. And then it's not until about that 5.5 to 6 hour mark that it starts to sit closer to the skin, but very well done in terms of the performance for this one. In terms of the versatility, I can see this one working well in the hotter weather. Of course, if you want to wear it all year round and you're doing so in a climate-controlled environment, by all means, you can wear this one all year round. And I see this one being light, youthful, and flirtatious, but I can also see a more confident and mature older woman wearing this one as well. And I do think that there's a bit of a unisex quality in here, especially if you're a fan of some of the lighter, more citrus-heavy, floral and pear combination fragrances out there. And there are a lot of men's fragrances that have rose in them. There are a lot of men's fragrances that have pear in them as well. And so I personally find this one to be unisex. And I think in terms of the presentation, I like the transparency on the bottle. Very well done, and enough to differentiate it from the other two Delinas. My final verdict on this fragrance is, if you are a fan of Delina and you're looking for a Delina that's very bright, dewy, ethereal, citrusy, and more of an emphasis on the pear, but still having that Delina DNA that I think is so compliment worthy, definitely check this fragrance out. I think you'll love it, and I'm personally a fan of this fragrance myself. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your viewership. That was my fragrance review of Delina La Rosée by Parfum de Marly. If you own or have tried this fragrance, please let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Also, please don't forget to subscribe for future videos, and all you have to do is click on that red button in the corner. I would really appreciate it if you could help me reach that 150,000 subscriber mark. It would mean a lot to me. That would be a huge milestone for me. Of course, while you're at it, make sure to enable notifications by clicking on the bell too. Thanks again for watching. Love you guys, and we'll see you soon. Bye.